Okay, this is just going to be a short video on how to make really awesome vehicles in Arma 3 without any mods, just vanilla. A lot of people complain about Arma 3's vehicles being really lackluster. They don't have any variants or anything special. So here's a nice little trick you can do in Editor to make your missions have different kinds of weapons on vehicles. This works for any vehicle, but I'm going to be showing it with the Pawnee here. First, just open up your editor. I'm using a modded map, I'm using Chernarus, but it doesn't matter what map you use. Place down a playable unit and the vehicle that you want to be using. Like I said, I'm going to be using the Pawnee for this. Double click on it. You're going to find the init box. You're going to type this, add magazine turret. There's two empty quotes here. Don't put anything in those right now, we'll worry about that later. And then an open, -1, close, close, and a semicolon. What you're doing here is you're adding a magazine to the vehicle. Right now that won't by itself won't do anything because there's no weapon in the vehicle now. So next thing we're going to do is this, add weapon turret, and same thing, -1, and just press OK. So what we did is we just added a weapon to the vehicle, but we don't have the class names yet, so it won't do anything. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to Google Arma 3 vehicle weapon class names. It'll be the first thing that pops up on Google. Now we need to figure out which weapon, or if you already know which weapon you want, we're going to just find that weapon in this list and add it to the vehicle. So for this example, I'm going to be adding the 40mm autocannon to the Pawnee, which is the one that is on the Blue 4 APC. So we're going to need this right here, the class name. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it into the second one, since that's the weapon that we're going to be adding. And then we're going to find the magazine that we want. These are the compatible magazines. We're just going to copy this and paste it into the first one for the turret. You can add multiple of these, add extra magazines since it's only a 60 rounder of the 40mm. We'll just have to add this first line again. So we could go copy, paste, paste, paste many times as we wanted to. Now, to prevent your helicopter vehicle to be completely broken, you can go this, remove weapon turret, and then the same thing, -1, close. The problem is, if you wanted to remove the weapon, you also want to remove the ammo. So if we were to remove the missiles right now, which is what I'm going to do, you also want to remove the missiles so it doesn't look like there's a bunch of missiles sitting there. So we're also going to go down to the bottom, this, remove magazine turret, -1. -1 is the default pilot seat. If you're doing this on a vehicle that you want the gunner, like a hunter or a gunship, then you simply want to set this to 0. For this, it's the pilot who's doing the shooting, so it'll be set to -1. So we're going to move the DAR missiles, and I have this already set up on mine. So I just save these for whenever I want. And then we are going to remove the missiles, and we're going to remove minigun. So it just has the big ass 40mm cannon on it, which is firepower enough. You won't see it in the editor, but it should remove these missiles if you also remove the, actually no it won't because I just did the turret. I'd have to do I'd have to remove the missile package as well, which would be Pawnee. Missiles DAR, 24 round missiles. Have to go this remove magazine turret, 24 round missiles, -1. Moves it from the driver. Save your mission. Play. If I did this properly, I've done this quite a few times, so it should. Missiles are gone because we removed the missile turret pods, so there's no missiles anymore. Get in. As you can see, we have our 40mm cannon. I will quickly demonstrate just to show you how it works. Depending on the weapon you decide to put into your vehicle, the crosshair may or may not show up. For this one, it doesn't. So, like if there's anything that you're looking through a FLIR cam, normally the crosshair won't show up. So on this one, there is a 25mm variant of this that does have the crosshair. All the animations still show up properly, so it still fires. Works just fine. Okay. So that's how you add or remove weapons from a vehicle. This can also be used to remove or add smoke, chaff, and flare rounds to a vehicle, which can all be found on the vehicle weapons class page that we Googled earlier. So here I've created a few examples of how this can be used in a mission. Once again with the Pawnee. This time I've added the Hunter and a static emplacement just as a surprise in the end. I personally love using the Avenger in my missions, but since there's no AA truck, I decided to make one. So here's what happens if you add Titan AA missiles that are normally found on static weapon emplacements to a Hunter. You get a truck that can fire AA. So it has full lock-on capabilities, just like anything else. However, I also added extra smoke for the driver. Normally that would be the job of the gunner. Or that they're not even there. And actually I don't think they're there at all on the Hunter. So adding smoke is actually very helpful. Second up is the Pawnee. This is what we were using earlier. However, I've outfitted it with the GAU 12 25mm with 1,000 rounds and a 40mm grenade launcher. Add a bit more versatility to the Pawnee without completely breaking it the way that the DAR missiles do, where you just dump 25 or 24 missiles into your target and then you're shit out of luck. As you can see, this is pretty powerful and it chews through rounds quite quickly. And unlike the 40mm that we demonstrated earlier, this one actually has the crosshair. But since the GMG is actually normally viewed through a FLIR cam because it's a static weapon that I pasted onto this, there's no crosshair present. So keep that in mind when you're adding weapons to vehicles if you really are set on having a crosshair. And then the third one we have here, which is a static GMG, I mounted a tank gun on it, the same kind found on the Slammer Up, just to show you that there are limitations to this. So I get in, have the GMG that fires as normal, but I also have a tank cannon. Now, when you're using this, you have to remember that physics is still a thing. So when I pull the trigger on something really light with a massive gun, go flying backwards, because the knockback is not designed for something this small. And it's absolutely hilarious to mess around with. But, not practical in a mission setting. I'll be trying to put out more of these videos now that I've graduated college and have a little bit more free time, but I'm also job hunting. So hopefully I'll have more of these fancy little tricks. Make yourself look like an amazing editor with virtually no experience. And I'll see you guys